yours on?
Hello.
They're all on.
All right, everyone. Thank you for coming to Hollywood Rundown here for the Fresh Take Network. For those that aren't familiar with the podcast and are just strolling right now, it's a weekly podcast that we do talking about the latest in prestige television, news and entertainment and gaming. We talk about the latest in snack news, break down the latest trailers, and what else?
Snack news is definitely our priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have lots of snacks for you to try if you want to stick around.
Apparently not. All right. So,
You're listening to the Fresh Take Network.
Well, this is old school.
Sexy.
I just want to love you all night long.
So welcome to Fresh Take. We're going to talk about the latest in TV. And we're going to
Who
start.
are you?
Yeah, you can do the
Who
intro.
are you?
Oh yeah, right. It's been a while. We haven't done a show like this in almost 2 weeks. So, what it is, what to do? Welcome to Fresh Take. Joshua, Adam, William Arnold, not the voice of the Calgary Dinos, with Talented, Sexy, Dangerous, the Devoneer. It's Devin Seal.
Mm-hmm.
And from the YYC Soldiers and the Calgary Film Festival, the domination of shoes and film culture in Calgary, Adam Diesel Power.
Domination.
Domination.
Sure. I
Yeah.
like that.
So we're going to start off with kind of running down the shows here. We kind of mainly go to some of the prestige shows that we have in the entertainment business, and we're going to start off with Atlanta.
Cool. Atlanta's back, right?
Atlanta's back.
Atlanta's back, right? And it's good.
Yeah.
I only got two episodes so far.
So you still haven't seen episode 4 yet, which is
That's the.
good because I don't
The one.
know as 2 white dudes we can talk about episode 4.
I don't know. As 3 white dudes, we should talk about the show.
There's that
But-
too. Yeah, there's that too.
I'm off-white.
But it's really good. It's really interesting. The first couple episodes deal with like collective trauma and like what was that second one? Like racism overseas. Like
Well, yeah, the first episode was this short movie, and it's based on a true story. And
Okay.
Glover always kind of said he wanted to tell that, and you kind of get watching, especially episode 4, which I don't get into too much, but there's this idea that Glover's doing of telling these short stories without the central cast in it.
mhm.
We know that it's split up into 2 shows, and that it's going forward. Then it'll be over. And there's so many talented people in this cast with Zazie Bates and Lakeith and Brian Tyrese Henry and Glover himself that it was kind of hard to keep them all down together. That's why they shot these 2 seasons. And just the meta commentary, not even sometimes meta, just right in the head commentary on race diversity and growing up in certain suburbs and other cultures has really been put to the fore for this season. And Glover had that whole rant or whatever on his Twitter talking about Dave and how he thought Dave kind of took his spot. They're both on FX, so and you can definitely tell he took that personally because he came out hot with these latest episodes so far.
Yeah, the first one, it's so different from anything else Atlanta.
Yeah.
And to spoil it, it's like a dream episode.
Yeah.
But it's like there's no characters from the show
No,
in that first episode, which is pretty wild to do.
it's almost like Get Out with Kids.
Yeah, it's and they had that in previous seasons, like
Yeah.
episodes that felt like Get Out or something like that. But and then the second one starts with like you find out Paperboy's in jail in Amsterdam,
Yeah.
and then seeing him in jail, it's kind of like it's an American show, so you're expecting like these Americanisms and stuff, and he's in like a Dutch jail,
Yeah, he's
and
chilling.
it's just like an amazing apartment.
Yeah.
Like he has like his own tea kettle and like a TV, and they're like, "What do you want for lunch?" And he has this menu he's choosing from.
Yeah.
And then they like post his bail, and he's like, "Come get me after lunch. I'll eat my lunch in here, and then I'll go out."
Yeah.
So some pretty funny like it's definitely poking at like the American prison system and like
Yeah.
all these things by leaving America to show what it's like outside of there. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
But like big stars, and like he is great in it. And we get to see maybe the real Tupac death.
Yeah, that was something.
There's a
Wait,
part
what?
of it. Yeah.
I thought he was alive and he was wandering around like Barbados or something.
So in this, they mention that they go to this. They somehow end up. It's always this surreal stuff, right? And they end up at this like this place, this hospital maybe, where someone's dying, and or be going to be euthanized, right? And you never see their face. You just see this person laying in a bed, and Lakeith
This
is
person's
like,
gonna be euthanized?
Yeah.
What?
well, they're like dying. They're sick. They're dying.
Is this the dream?
No,
this is the
You,
show.
you
It's
just
legit.
euthanize people? That's not how it works.
It was his
Yes.
choice. It was
Well, it's
too-
like
okay. Well,
so anyways,
maybe
there's
it's suicide.
Yeah, I guess this is suicide.
Okay, because euthanizing is very different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's someone there, and you never see that person. They get there, and Lakeith is like, I think that's Tupac. And it's like, what are you talking about? It's like what did they say? He's in like, they said he was in the Caribbean somewhere,
Yeah.
and a lot of the Caribbean is owned by the Dutch, and now we're in Amsterdam, so it's probably Tupac. And she's like, how high are you? He's like 4.5 out of 5 maybe. Like, I don't know. So that's a really, really funny part. And then I don't want to give too much away about that, but it's a pretty interesting sequence. Like, you split the episode into 2 stories that way, and then you kind of get that. But it's really cool. I'm excited to see where the rest of the season goes, and it's cool that we get 2 more seasons, even though everyone's like huge. Like they're too big to be on the same TV show. Especially, like, I don't want to say it's a little show, but it's like lower budget on FX. But it's cool to see all 4 of them still rocking.
It is, yeah. It's been a journey. I keep on telling you, I don't want to ruin episode 4, but when you get to episode 4, there's definitely a lot of commentary that's been going around in episode 4. And I mean, we'll be talking about it. I mean, Barry comes out tonight, and that's the one worst part about today is that we're so close to covering Barry.
Yeah, I want to talk about Barry. We'll get to it next week.
Yeah, we'll get to it next week.
Love Barry.
So yeah, solid season so far of Atlanta. I mean, it was, and for you that you don't know, and Dev and the crowd, Glover's just like, yeah, we're just doing this season in Europe. So they've kind of gone all around Europe so far. And the one thing I would say, kind of talking on Adam's point too about Paperboy with Alfred, you've kind of seen a lot of mindset of him now because he's made it. He's a famous rapper. He's a famous African American man. And how he's starting to handle all that and handle the fandom and handle giving back to his community and to his culture and what that means to him.
So we ended last season with him with the gun on the airplane.
Nothing, no follow up.
Yeah,
no follow up.
Well, so there's an undetermined amount of time
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
we have yet to really.
Well, they
figure
say
out,
it's his
right?
second European tour, so I think it's been at least a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're just roaming. They're kind of just roaming around, going from place to place,
Yeah.
playing shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid so far. FX doesn't do much bad things. All right, let's go to our next show.
I guess
don't
you've
know
convinced me to
about
watch
that,
it.
but
I guess you've convinced me to watch
yeah,
it.
check it out. Check it out.
All right, we'll go and talk about something that Devin has seen, that both of us have seen.
Well, I was just a little late to the party.
A little bit.
Wow.
Thoughts?
It's good.
It's dark. It's dark. It gets
Well,
dark.
I don't understand the criticism.
For those
of, like,
listening
dark.
at home, we're talking about the Batman.
Yes.
The Batman from 2022.
Yeah.
The Batman. I said the Batman.
Good. Great. Okay. Moving on.
Hit it.
It was good.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if you're asking me from the viewpoint of someone who's read a lot of Batman, I think that this movie in particular, more so than a lot of other ones, quote unquote, follows some comic books or is very influenced by these comic books. And so, as someone who knows more than the average fan about Batman lore, I guess it was very faithful to that. I don't think that necessarily makes a good or bad comic book movie. I think studios and directors are allowed to make conscious decisions to stray away from that, but the influences are very direct. It comes across as probably the most symbolically shot Batman as well.
Yeah.
There's multiple scenes that are highly stylized. There's little nuances here and there that really add to the overall ambience of the film and make it kind of a complete package. The reason why it stands out is because this is obviously younger Batman, but also because this is more detective Batman and less than, like Justice League type Batman, where he's just completely overpowered, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So to see a movie that was kind of like Seven with superheroes, I think was actually a nice refreshing change from someone who just takes a lot of punches and drives through walls, even though he did take punches and drive through walls.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that this is probably one of the top 5 movies with the most organic use of a car tractor trailer and a car using it to jump over things. That was kind of cool,
Yeah.
very organic.
Yeah.
I was very convinced when the car trailer, collapsed and he was able to drive over it. I always think of James Bond where like they do that weird flip and like the General Lee with the slide whistle go. This is one of the better examples of that. So-
Without the slide whistle.
No, it was a very dark slide whistle.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna bring up. Are we not tired of dark Batman, or are you?
No.
Still, you're not. Okay.
I'm just tired of how dark the film looked.
Yeah, I saw that meme that was like all like scenes from all the Batmans.
It
just
was
getting
like the
darker
final
and darker, and then
Battle
like,
in Game of Thrones all over
So
again.
wait, what's
like
what's
2030,
your
it's just
what
gonna
do
be
you
a black
propose?
screen.
What are you proposing?
Well, I just want like
I don't
a-
want dark Batman. I want campy Batman.
Yeah, like a fun Batman again.
Yeah.
like Adam West
Like
Batman.
an Adam West, or even like the '90s ones.
Well, even the '90s. Okay, so you want like Joel Schumacher Batman?
I don't know.
Do you want bat nipples again?
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Like we had like a decade of dark Batman. We get a revamp of Batman. We get another dark Batman. Like, do we
So
need
you're,
more dark
you're,
Batman?
you're saying a guy dressed in all black who fights at night, who takes the shape of a nocturnal animal, should not be dark?
Well, he fights like a dude that houses penguins, and like a guy in like a green suit with question marks, and like
First of all, there were actually no penguins featured in the film.
I know, which was very weird.
Penguins
Those
get
are
to become
coming.
penguins.
Yeah, it's coming. He was just Cobblepot in this one.
I think they
Yeah.
refer to him as the
They
penguin once.
mention it,
Yeah.
so
But everyone just called him Oz or something like that.
that's just a question.
I'm not saying that this film is perfect. I think there were certain choices made in the film that didn't work for me personally, but not on the basis of it didn't happen or it happened this way in the comics, therefore it should not happen this way. There was just some things that fell flat. I'm not going to defend that this is some kind of groundbreaking superhero, artistic, nuanced cinema. It's more just, it was a fun adventure that was a little different than what we got with Christian Bale, because they really took a hard right into whatever grounded realism with military vehicles, and this was just a guy who wandered into a lot of apartments and tried to solve a crime, I suppose, tried to solve 7.
Yeah, for 3 hours.
And but it also showed, he took a specific stance trying to solve some clues and didn't quite think it through to the extent that an experienced or older Batman would. And so it's still him learning his craft, like trying to figure out what kind of person he's going to be in this world. So as a one shot, which isn't connected to really anything unless they canceled the Ezra Miller film and make this the new, DCE, cinematic universe, it was a fun 3-hour ride. Is there some things that we can cut out? Sure.
The last 20 minutes.
I guess so.
It's a long
That was
film.
that was the most exciting stuff.
Yeah,
I thought
it was.
I thought the first 2 hours were a bit of a draw.
There are so many points you're like, okay, we're done. No, okay, no. Okay, we're done. No, okay. Okay, we're done. It's like, man.
So when did you want it to end? When did you
I'm
throw
just
in
sick
jail?
of these long ass movies, man. Like these 3-hour movies. Let's just shorten this down. But like, why does everything have to be so damn long?
They had a story to tell, man, and it took its time.
Yeah, it definitely took its time. Wait till the director's cut when it's like 6 hours.
Well, what's wrong with the slow burn?
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just.
I love slow cinema. I'm fine with longer movies, but not when they're just like, they shouldn't be this long.
Mhm.
Like, I don't want a Batman movie that's this long.
Well, then I guess you don't
That's
get
just
you
personal.
don't get art then.
I don't get art. Yeah, I don't understand art, comic book art. It's true.
Well, next up for art is Better Call Saul.
This show was too long.
Whoa.
So Adam and I watched the first 2 episodes of this. Devin has yet to get into Better Call Saul just yet.
No, I think Breaking Bad's a touch overrated at this point in time.
Whoa.
Mm.
But that's a well-known established fact of mine.
Is it?
Yes.
I need to
That Breaking Bad's a little overrated at this.
elaborate on that.
What are you talking about? We've talked about this for like many years.
No, I've never heard you say this.
You're just putting me on the spot.
Because some people would consider, if you had the Mount Rushmore of prestige television the last handful of years, it's Sopranos, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, and Thrones was there. I don't know who's in that other spot now.
The
Wire.
Wire. The Wire.
The Wire, sure, put The
Always
Wire
and
there.
forever.
But Thrones was in debate there, and then it just shit the bed at the end there.
Whoa.
And Saul is arguably better than Breaking Bad.
It's-
No,
it's coming.
I'm not criticizing Better Call Saul in any aspect whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I think our love affair with Breaking Bad has changed over time, and I don't think it's necessarily for the good. it became a show. So obviously, we're cheering for the bad guy, which was kind of a nice change in the 2000s or 2010s. But what ended up happening, especially in that last season or last season and a half, was we got so conditioned to wait for that big explosive reveal each episode that I think it took away from the other 45 minutes of the show. So we see major characters die, or we're waiting for that to happen or not happen, and then could you tell me what happened in the rest of the episode?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Those are like good slow burns.
Yeah.
Those are like great slow
No,
burns.
you can tell me what happened throughout the whole show, but
I mean,
that
Breaking
specific
Point's
episode.
the antithesis of a slow burn for a show.
I don't think it's a slow burn. I'm just saying it just kept punctuating me with like huge events, like every single episode.
Well, the depth of Walter's characteristics change year to year to year to year, and the slow burn on that,
great
right?
long-term character
Yeah.
development. I just think the show itself relied a lot on surprise
Well, Junior
elements.
never gets his breakfast.
It's true.
Yeah.
I just think that they relied too much on surprise elements in many of the episodes to really punctuate what's going on,
Right.
rather than
Maybe towards the end, I would argue you're right, and I think that is like once a show becomes a thing and you can buy T-shirts of it at Walmart, it's like there's an expectation of it that's very different, and I think it's hard as a showrunner or a show creator to like keep that momentum going. And Breaking Bad didn't get to that point until like the last season. Like most people in the world weren't watching it until maybe that last season.
Yeah.
Right? So that's when it was like you could buy like Heisenberg hats at like stores, and like the sketch, like the Leprechaun style sketch
Yeah.
of him, like at Walmart. And I think when that happens, then that's pushing your expectations, and as a show creator you kind of like you have to do some of those things to like keep your like normal, like bigger than life audience engaged, right?
sure you're
So maybe that
appealing
does
for a
happen.
common denominator. I
So
get
maybe that does happen at the end. I can give you that with the last season.
Yeah.
But not the whole show.
As for
Still a
Saul,
great show. As for Saul,
spoilers ahead for those who haven't seen the last two episodes.
does anybody watch Better Call Saul out there? Nobody's seen it. Sort of watch it.
Okay.
It's I know when they announced they were gonna do this show, it was like Saul and Mike from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking like it's gonna be like a buddy comedy, like half-hour show, like a sitcom
Well,
of
I know
them just like
Kurt's
doing
roots
things.
too for Mr. Show.
yeah, but like doing little like jokey things, and I was like, I don't really want that, but I'm gonna check it out. But it's just Breaking Bad 2.
Yep.
And it's Breaking Bad 2 in the way that like Breaking Bad was, and the creator of the show, Vince Gilligan, has talked about this, like he's gonna be a bad guy at the end. It's this like, what did he say? I can't remember. It's Mr. whatever, some character that turns into Scarface at the end. And so you know he's gonna be like a bad person at the end. And then you come into Better Call Saul, and it's the same thing, because you've seen the end of Better Call Saul already with Breaking Bad. You know what kind of person he is. He's like this weasel, this cockroach that just like outlives everyone, takes advantage of everyone, and is like a POS. But you start out the show where he's not Saul. He's Jimmy McGill, and he's just like a down on his luck lawyer trying to like make his brother proud, make his family proud, be like a good person. But you know at the end it's gonna flip.
Yeah.
So you're like watching it for that transition, and so it just ends up being like Breaking Bad again, which is good, I think.
Yeah, a little bit, because now we're left with questions of like, when does he go into the big office? And now we're asking what happened to Kim and stuff with Gus, and those kind of questions are all getting answered, right? And now we're getting teased with the twins and a bunch of other stuff.
And we're getting teased with the big inflatable Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, we are.
That is on top of
Yeah.
the Better Call Saul thing. I just love the montage. It's typical Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul montages at the beginning of episodes where you're just watching something happen and you don't know what it is. And it's just like, it doesn't matter if you know, you're just like watching cool things set to music. And in this one, the opening scene is like this house, it's mostly a closet being kind of raided.
All the ties fall.
By like people in like brown suits are just going and grabbing things, putting them into boxes, and you're like, what are they doing? And then they pull shirts off the shelf. It's like, oh, these pink shirts, and then you're like, oh, these are Saul's shirts.
Yeah.
And like pulling all these things. Then it goes in the bathroom, and there's like this Renaissance painting in this like gold tiled bathroom that's ridiculous. And then it like close ups on this gold toilet, like solid gold
I feel
toilet.
like I don't even have to watch the show now. You're just telling me what's going on.
This is
Adam's
the
a-
first
I can
like
picture
Adam's a
all
great
my
storyteller. Adam's a great storyteller.
So is television. I just watched this. I don't need
I
to
know.
hear it from Adam.
Adam was
That's what
really
we're
killed it
talking
this
about.
week at
That's what we're
Expo.
talking about.
Talking about his wrestling card he had before when he was talking about some of his movies. He's a very good storyteller.
Also, to interject, it was a clear as day buddy cop show in the Breaking Bad universe, and it would have been Bill Burr and that Huel character.
Oh yeah, we got Huel. We got a little bit of a Huel cameo.
So I'm just saying that could have been a thing.
Oh, yeah, I would watch it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd for sure watch it. But I'm enjoying it. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but
Yeah.
I'm just excited that we'll get to see at the end. I know we had Bob Odenkirk get hurt.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. Some sort
Heart
of
attack.
heart episode,
Heart
let's
attack,
say.
yeah.
And it was pretty touch and go for a little while. It was very
I believe his family thought he was gonna pass.
yeah, and it was like, not to be selfish, was like, I want to see the end of Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
I don't want Bob Odenkirk to die because he's
Yeah.
like a national treasure, but like I think he would want to finish this as well
Yeah.
and finish this outright. So I'm glad he's doing well. He's back.
All right, next up, Tokyo Vice.
Mm-hmm.
It's all Devin.
No, that's a little bit. You got half an hour
I have
worth
half
of
an hour. I have half
opinions
an
to give
hour.
us.
But, this is kind of what we've been seeing from HBO Max a lot. Is they're dumping 2 or 3 shows every single month, and just kind of seeing what's. I mean, this has been the main side of streaming. Really, we'll get more into that when we talk about Netflix in a bit here, but. This has kind of been what they've been doing a little bit. I mean, I know Ansel Elgort, he has some troubling history, I guess is
Problematic.
problematic.
That
Yeah.
seems to be the term.
He wasn't at the Oscars to do West Side Story stuff because of some of his past stuff there, so I'm going to acknowledge that before we go on about this show.
He also has a very punchable face.
Yeah, that was even before the allegations.
And I don't hate him as an actor for sure. Like he's fine. And in this, like I know we've talked about this, Dev. It's like insert any decent actor and
He's
it
a
would have been
blank, he's a
fine.
blank slate.
Yeah, it could have been fine.
He's in like that Miles Teller blank slate white guy role. Is like I
But
can
he
see
does it
that when I was
okay. He
saying
does it
that.
okay here, but he still has that punchable face. That I
Like
just,
Miles Teller.
Yeah, I just kind of not.
Do you have a thing against Miles Teller?
Yes.
What's gonna happen in Top Gun though?
I don't know. I heard he's not that big of a deal in it though.
Okay, but
He's been rocking
we're
that
gonna save
mustache
it.
now for like 3 years, just waiting to go on Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon to showcase off this Top Gun mustache. Going to the Bahamas with Aaron Rodgers, showing off his greasy ass mustache.
Why do you know so much about his vacation plans?
Because I cover sports and had to cover all the Aaron Rodgers nonsense last year, and Miles Teller was along for the ride.
Oh,
So Tokyo Vice.
Yes.
wow! I don't know how to. This is a second.
I mean, it's Michael Mann,
Mhm.
right? So I was kind of thinking like Miami Vice. Is this like a Miami Vice but in Tokyo? No.
No, it's an adaptation of a
it's-
memoir
It's
slash.
based on a book.
So many of these things are, I mean, somewhat factual. I mean, who's to say until I actually read the book? This is the classic fish out of water storyline that that we've seen time and time again. So, what makes Ansel Elgort interesting or not interesting, I guess it depends, is that you can picture yourself in his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a quality of his acting or if it's a quality of his very lackluster, punchable face, in your guys' opinion, but here we are. So, what I was hoping from all the press and the description of the show was a very, very hard-boiled cop drama, or specifically how the Yakuza influences things in media, public entertainment, government officials, everyday life, because they are semi-legitimate businesses in Japan, unlike the mafia in New York, for example, which is all underground. So these people are CEOs who also happen to be gangsters. And what it's kind of evolved or devolved into, depending on your opinion, is a bit more of like a pulpy drama rather than a cop show.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it's starting to lose me. The filming, everything about it looks fantastic because they actually filmed everything in Japan as compared to sound stages in LA, then overhead establishing shots of Shibuya, for example. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm living in that world, and because I've been there and I've visited those places, it feels very authentic to me. Every single actor, basically except Ansel Elgort, and one of the other supporting characters is Japanese or ethnically Japanese, which is great as well. So I get sucked into that part, but then where it loses me are some of these storylines that I don't know if they're in the book. I would feel very, I don't know how I'd feel if he had a memoir about how the Yakuza ran things and how he infiltrated them, and then we talk about this girl that he has a tangential relationship with. So that might have been
Or his
established.
sister from home.
Yeah, and well, that's probably a real life thing, but I have no idea how much it affects him when he's 8,000 miles away, or whatever the number is. But so it's a show that coming into it was like, oh, this is another 8-episode, Mayor of Easttown, White Lotus thing that just took over a water cooler show for a few weeks, and I don't think it's kind of reached that peak. It's not going to win any awards. It's not going to really change anyone's life. It just made Tokyo really, really cool looking, but it already is. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've only seen the first episode more or less. I got that vibe, kind of the fish out of water, but not out of water. Very smart kid, down to earth kid, trying to figure his way and be essential into that culture. So I like the feeling of that in a little bit, and it intrigued me to go further with the show.
And he did like Ansel Elgort train to learn Japanese. Like he speaks it very well. I think
He
I don't
does,
speak
yeah.
Japanese, but he. I feel like he does.
due to my untrained ear,
My
he sounds
untrained
like
ear.
an expert.
He sounds like an expert, and but he did a really good job with that. I think for me, like I think you guys both brought this show up. Like, oh, is this one we should check out? And I looked at it and I was like, no. Like I see that picture and I'm like, not very interested. But then I hear Michael Mann's involved, and I do love Michael Mann's work, especially in the 80s, 90s, like Manhunter, Thief, and like Heat, obviously. And it does, especially him directing that first episode, it's very Michael Mann. It feels like that visual, that neon really works for him, that he's able to bring to this. But then, yeah, it's not his story to tell, and maybe that's where I'm
That's what we need
kind
for
of checked out.
For the recast pod, we need heat. We need to do heat.
We could do Heat.
That's what we want to do. Next up,
Why don't we take a little break and let people try some snacks?
yeah, let's get to the snacks. So next up, we're going to do Moon Knight.
Does anybody want to try some snacks in the audience there? We have, let's do this one first. So we always talk about weird snacks on this show, and I always love to like travel and then bring weird snacks when I can find them. And I got these on my last trip to San Francisco, and they're Cheetos, but they're cinnamon sugar bag of bones flavored. So we never do, because we do this show over Zoom usually, but now
This is
we're
the first live podcast the three of us have ever done.
I've just met both of you for the first time.
So if anybody wants to come try them, we'll try them too. I'll pour some out on this little table here.
So I'm getting churro vibes.
Yeah,
I'm getting churro vibes just
sounds
before
like
I've even
churro
had it.
vibes.
You can't eat it already. I thought we'd eat it all at the same time.
Same time.
Wow.
Anybody? No? Okay.
Ah. Free American food. The trans fats are through the roof.
Yeah, take a few. So they're in shapes of a skull, a rib cage, a Cheeto's paw, and then a typical dog bone.
I think the idea is you can make a character.
Yeah, it shows it on the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make a little skeleton sort of thing. Yeah, not churros vibes. I'm not tasting churro.
A little bit. They've been doing this though. Like, they did the Canadian one with the like maple leaves that were ketchup flavored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Is there a bit of vanilla in this?
a little bit. A tang.
Probably.
Tinge of it.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good snack break.
Yeah. All right. Adam can take more of a snack break because we're gonna do Moon Knight.
I'm just gonna eat snacks while you
So,
talk
yeah.
about Moon Knight.
If you even want to go around, because I got a slideshow for you.
I can see.
Okay. So
Who the hell's this guy?
that's on. I went deep, man. I
Okay.
went deep on this for people that haven't seen Moon Knight. So Moon Knight's been going on 4 episodes. I think the big thing everyone's been talking about was the twist that we had in this last episode of kind of, is Mark Spector insane? Was all these other voices in his head and everything else in his head that's been going on throughout everything, and the big twist there for people that haven't read the Moon Knight comic, he has kind of these 3 voices in his head, right? And we kind of got an insight to all of that here. So the first shot I shot was, remember, he has that statue that he's talking to in the first episode.
The statue.
Yeah, the guy that like the human statue, the guy that's just.
Oh, sure.
So then
okay.
we have that old guy. You have him present doing bingo in the let's go with insane asylum. Is that the proper term?
What episode did this happen? I know I fell asleep.
Episode 4.
I fell asleep in one of them, but
Episode 4.
okay,
It's the
really?
last episode. So
Oh,
yeah,
I'm out. I'm not interested.
Oh, you're done.
Yeah,
You're
well, I'm
tapped
gonna
out.
keep watching.
And
so
then
it's
we
gonna
had
connect.
the gift shop where he worked. You had the little gods there, and then we had the big god there that they ran into at one
Yeah.
point.
I woke up for this part.
And then you had the drawing of Khonshu there, kind of making him wonder if Khonshu was real or not. Khonshu, again, that I've seen Moon Knight's the kind of the Egyptian god that takes him over and gives him his powers.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
I think this podcast so far has either been you two explaining things to me or me explaining things to you. We actually haven't reviewed anything yet. We're just you're just telling me what's going
We
on.
have been all over the place. And then that was one of the cops there that you see in the asylum, another cop there. And you see the Rubik's Cube there with another patient there, another guard there,
So these are callbacks.
the wife inside of the insane asylum, the girl that he works with at the museum. So the idea more or less is just kind of like, is this all inside of his head? Or like this world that they go to now, like how did he get to this place? Was it all inside of his head? Is he bona fide mentally disturbed? Where is all that coming from?
Maybe this is just the Marvel version of Shutter Island.
That's a theory that's been going around.
Or maybe it's Mephisto.
You and I are the ones that get that joke.
I don't know what that is.
So why are you? I mean, I would give it due credit. I found this show, with Marvel, and dare we say anything negative about Marvel at this place of all places?
I think we're gonna lose these passes if we say anything.
But I think you and I have got to point out a lot of redundancies lately with the MCU, especially after Endgame and trying to kind of find their places. I mean, even now, you look at Spider-Verse, and it was a sense of like, ooh, look at these things from the past, and we're about to get that in Doctor Strange as well. It's like, look at these things from the past of having a harder time of kind of telling good stories that we were having in the present as much. And some of it's harder because you got these newer characters and these out there characters. Moon Knight's a little bit more of an out there character, and you have to do a little bit more background there. The Eternals was the same way as well, of telling the story that maybe go over some people's heads and may not have any interest in. And also, I think there's also just a sense of Marvel fatigue, especially from people that care about, quote unquote true cinema and whatnot.
Ooh.
True cinema. True cinema.
Adam has
Sorry, I
something to
blanked
say
out for
about
a
this.
second. I blanked out for a second. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know what Moon Knight is, and I don't think I'm ever
He's
gonna know.
Batman in a white suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw some people dressed as Moon Knight. I knew what it was.
You saw Mr. Moon Knight.
I
That was
knew-
one of the better cosplays.
I knew
I've seen.
that it was Moon Knight.
Yeah.
But that's all I know. I know it's Oscar
He's,
Isaac.
he's Egyptian Batman. That's more or less.
It's a
Egyptian
really,
Batman.
really good comic. The show has been okay.
Is Oscar Isaac good?
When he's not doing his terrible British accent, yes. That
I
part
just don't know how he could be bad in anything.
Ethan Hawke's great. I mean, look, the cast in this is great. I don't know who played.
Ethan Hawke is great in this.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think Ethan Hawke can sleepwalk and be great in something. That's how good of an actor he is.
Mhm.
Wow, you're talking about him like he's.
He's one of our best actors.
Like he's in the room.
That's a stretch. I think he's a very competent actor. I think he's one of our best actors.
He's one of our underlooked actors.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Sure,
And I
that's
don't,
good.
I can't remember the name of the wife in this, but she's very well. I hope that she, gets a few other roles. She's been fantastic.
So you're in, or are you out?
I'm in to. I mean, this twist is interesting to see kind of where it goes. I'm interested as far as the story goes. I'm interested in the comic. But if you're asking people,
the wife?
yes.
She's from Rami, which is an awesome show. that
If you're
you should
asking,
watch.
if you're asking the average person to follow all these shows, right, and then expect when the movie comes along now, you just need to know. I mean, in Doctor Strange, we're probably gonna have Captain Carter in it, right? That's the rumor, at least. And now it's gonna be like, well, you know what if you don't know who Captain Carter is? Too bad.
But this is what we've talked about this several times. That if you're going to rely on these shows, these secondary shows as a media franchise, and then
Yeah.
to then push forward your movies just to throw more and more people in,
Yeah,
I think this is where it's doing a disservice.
it's. I mean,
And my level of interest is it's very well known to have waned since Endgame, because I feel like that was a great natural wrap up to
Yeah.
a lot of things. But then it was just like, hold on, there's 10 more characters that we kind of teased at some point, and that you have to pay attention to because it's
Yeah.
going to push the next great story forward. When in reality, I'm not really as emotionally invested in a lot of these characters. Moon Knight, for example, all these Marvel shows and these movies are kind of like one of two things now. You're either getting a teenager who seeks out some kind of expert, specifically does not follow their advice, and finds himself in trouble where the expert has to come in.
That's exactly what Miss Marvel sounds like it's going to be.
And then we've seen it, we saw it with the Hawkeye show.
Yeah,
We
which
saw-
I liked Hawkeye.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other one is just new person randomly getting powers, finding out how great they are.
Yeah. Well, it's also like you haven't had anyone really change the definition of what a superhero television show or movies is supposed to be. I think The Boys maybe have done the best job of it recently. The Boys do a little bit better of a job of flipping and asking better questions about stuff. But Marvel's just kind of resting on their laurels of what works for them and going forward.
Well, it's always about establishing somebody.
Yeah.
And then if you're supposed to care about this individual character, and then they're going to show up in the next movie, and the next movie, and the next movie, and then suddenly they're going to fight some big bad guy with a bunch of their friends, and that's kind of, I mean, it's the easy bake up, and which is one of the criticisms of a lot of these true cinema people is that it's predictable, it kind of paint by numbers without pushing any kind of
Rinse and
boundaries.
repeat.
Exactly.
It's easy.
So you're fitting into 1 or 2 stories, and then just expecting us to buy the T-shirts and buy the action figures. And if your main thing about arguing why the show is great is because the comic book is great, then
Yeah.
the show's not great.
Yeah.
The comic book could be great. I'm
Yeah.
sure it is. I'm sure Moon Knight's a very well beloved character. We've seen a lot of cosplay, but that doesn't mean the show's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole thing with these cinematic universes and everything. And I think Disney was the ones who started it, but how good of a job are they doing? Even like with Boba Fett last year, right? Or this year, I guess. The best episode was Mando in it. And the one thing I've actually heard about the best, if it is a cinematic universe right now, is the ones that Paramount kind of have, which is like the Yellowstone universe, which, has their own side of people. And then the Star Trek universe that they've been building with Paramount. I've heard all the little separate shows they've had with Star Trek. I'm not as following it, but from people in my life who talked about the separate Star Trek shows they've had, they've done a decent job of building to the lore, building new characters, and going forward with it.
Well, you also have 60 years of history and,
Yeah.
and beloved fan bases and different generations to get people into Star Trek. Right?
Generations.
Ooh. Okay,
Good one.
I'm done with Moon Knight. It's just not very interesting. And
Why don't we do another snack break?
Sure.
Why don't we give away a T-shirt?
I don't
So
know.
we have some special snacks here.
Yeah.
Let's do.
you have to speak into the microphone.
Yeah, I'm just getting my snack. So I have a special flavor of M&Ms here. And why don't everyone come up and try them, and then whoever can guess the flavor gets a T-shirt. How does that sound?
Don't worry, it's not weird.
It's not terrible. Yesterday there was another podcast we attended, and they were doing weird sodas, and it was like mustard flavor and barf flavor and black
Butter.
olive and
Butter.
butter. Ugh. These are all good flavors. You're gonna be hopefully at least pleasantly surprised by them. So I'm gonna pour a few onto this table. I poured a lot. Yeah, come up here, try one, and we can see. I'm gonna try some too. One of each color.
Do you believe that the candy coating is different flavors depending on the color?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because some people are like, like purple M&Ms are the best color M&Ms.
No, I don't think they are just different flavors. So, very sweet. Does anybody want to wager a guess? We have some T-shirts from our sponsor, Sea of the Dead. They are Terry for Mayor T-shirts from Fubar. Anybody in the crowd want to wager a guess?
Coconut?
Not coconut.
Well, should we
Is that
quant?
weird, is that like a crispy, like a honeycomb or something, like a those pop balls that you used to have for
No, it's
cereal?
definitely a crispy one.
Well, we should quantify that it was released around the holiday time.
That hence the
Specifically,
colors,
the
red,
Christmas
white,
holiday
and
time.
green.
Yeah.
Give a little bit more hints.
Eggnog?
Not eggnog,
Mulled wine.
mulled wine.
Ginger snap or something, like Christmas cookie? Candy cane?
You're getting close. Cinnamon? No, not candy cane. You said cookie.
Oh.
Candy canes or
What
peppermint?
is it? What are the sugar, just the sugar cookies?
Sugar cookie, white chocolate sugar cookies.
No.
Well done.
You get your T-shirt. Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thanks for trying these snacks. Those are actually pretty good.
I can see them being
What do you
Like
think?
in an actual like an M&M cookie with these baked in,
Mm.
pretty good.
A sugar cookie?
Sure.
A sugar cookie with white chocolate sugar cookie M&Ms?
I think that actually pretty good.
Okay.
So I guess we'll go to our other Marvel thing as we just shit on Marvel. Let's do one more Marvel thing. Really.
I'm giving up the pass. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I would just say, like, for the Thor trailer, I did like the idea of that one. That seemed to be kind of a foot forward of telling a different story. You know, we were asking for different stories of kind of Thor trying to refine himself, telling the story of the past, of who he's been, going through Endgame, losing friends, reintroducing Jane into it, having God the Gore the God Butcher as part of it. I think this one will be a better storytelling because they're not resting the laurels of, oh, remember this from the past. They're actually telling a story and a coming of age story for him, losing his weight, coming over the depression of the loved ones that he's lost, gaining a loved one back in Jane, and kind of going forward with that.
Well, are we sure that they're in love or that they're going to be together?
Well, I don't know that. I'm just saying she's back in his life, either as a partner.
Isn't it called something love?
Love and Thunder.
Love and
Love and
Thunder.
Thunder, yeah. And it's Taika, so I'm going to trust anything Taika does.
What are the odds? We'll talk about people with problematic histories. He's had a thing or two come up, so we're gonna put it out there just to make sure that we are gonna acknowledge that. So we're not gonna just celebrity fan crush over somebody like that. We know why Jane's in this movie, and it has to do with giving Natalie Portman a lot of money. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure that at any one of these other Thor associated movies, they would have wanted her in, right?
Yeah.
She showed up in one or two movies, then kind of just disappeared for a while. She was over it, and then was quite publicly like anti comic book hero movies, and then was like, oh wait, I'm going to be a comic book hero. So what does that tell you? A lot of
Well,
money.
she became, it's what you see from a lot of these actors and actresses too, right? She became a mom and naturally wanted to see her kids portray a role like that, right? So, I mean, that's what Affleck did. That's why Affleck became Batman, right? So she's become, being a mom, wants to see her kids be in the whole garb.
It's also a nice payday.
Yeah, well, doesn't look too big. So that one I actually think I'm somewhat more excited for. I think it'll tell a good story, and I mean, Ragnarok is arguably the most rewatchable Marvel movie of all of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever. I hope we
I
get,
did
if
see
anything,
it. I actually saw that one.
Yeah.
if anything, when he's losing the weight, I hope it's an Eye of the Tiger montage.
I hope so.
I mean, it would fit the overall je ne sais quoi, if you will.
All right, let's get to the news. We'll leave the big story at the end there, so I'll just kind of run down some of the minor news stories. So when we do this, Devin and Adam will just kind of give their 2 cents, and we move on really, really quickly. So Spider-Verse movie, unfortunately, was delayed till next July, so it's unfortunate.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
I liked the first one.
Yeah?
It was cool. I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan, but I thought it was cool, so I'd watch the second one.
And then seemingly every single video game now is getting a movie this past week. The Rock is going to do a It Takes Two movie.
In only the delicate ways he knows how to do anything.
Yeah. It's going to be set in a jungle
With Kevin Hart.
with Kevin
Yeah,
Hart.
Kevin
Yeah.
Hart. Kevin Hart is the wife.
The creator of John Wick is doing a Streets of Rage movie.
Okay.
Then we had Fast 10 got its name. Do you guys know what Fast 10 was named? The really creative name for Fast 10.
X gonna give it to you?
Fasten?
Fast X.
Fast. Okay.
So now they're going to iPhone naming.
Yeah.
Next, and then the next one will be Fast XS.
Jason Momoa is doing the Minecraft movie.
Okay.
Is he Steve?
I don't know.
Or is he like a zombie or a creeper or whatever
Yeah,
they're
I
called?
don't know. And then E3 got the axe this year, but we kind of talked about that with gaming stuff the last few years. That kind of seems
It's
like
been a long time
it's been a
coming.
long time coming. Everyone's doing their different directs or showcases or whatever. Dune starts filming in July, according to Josh Brolin, for the sequel.
Cool.
So 6 Academy Awards was enough to get greenlit for a sequel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
And then our big story, The Fall of Rome.
Netflix on fire.
Netflix on fire.
I should have shorted them when I had the chance. I wouldn't be here, I'd be in an island somewhere.
So we've kind of talked about this a little bit here and there. We talked about when Disney Plus launched, when HBO launched. It's kind of been a running theme on here of the streamer and everything like that, but they lose 2 million subscribers.
For the first time in history, they've lost subscribers.
They've lost that. The price hike has come up. They have the whole password sharing thing that they're talking about losing. They obviously did something great and took it subscribers away from Russia and ended the service there currently right now. So that was admirable of them. But they're at a real crossroads right now, at a point of you have, you know, just the American streamers of Peacock and HBO, and Amazon's going to be there for everyone because almost everyone has Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus is turning out stuff, and HBO Max may be the best. And out here in Canada, we have Crave and Amazon and everything that we have. And I don't know what the marketable shows are. And I someone brought this up to me that has, you know, kids, that TikTok has even taken away a little bit from Netflix as well. As back in the day, they would just put something on Netflix, but now they just kind of put something on TikTok or something. I think the lack of shows is hurting them as well. And Apple's another one there, just hit with Severance, Ted Lasso. What do you guys think was kind of led to the fall of this for Netflix?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here a little bit. They're still worth $100 billion.
Sure.
They dropped $50 billion. They're still worth a ton of money.
Yeah.
They still have a lot of subscribers. They have a lot of things. And in the last 2 years, in the pandemic, they probably gained a ton of new eyes, new subscribers. And now that this pandemic is kind of over, maybe some of those people falling off contribute to this 30% decline.
Yeah, well, the people
So
who are
maybe
stuck at
it's
home
like-
just wanted to watch stuff.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
people that joined in the last 2 years are now leaving.
Yeah.
Are they really down that much? I don't know.
Well, is every subscription service losing the same amount of proportional people?
Well, that's the thing.
Or eyes or minutes watched? In the
Well, and the password sharing too, we don't know how many people, like for Crave here, you can have 5 people on an account. Well, 5 devices on an account. With their password sharing, it's unlimited amount, right? So you can have as many people on the account. Well, you can have 3 people watch it once, I think, but you can share it to as many devices and as many people as you want, but only 3 people can watch it once.
Sure. Did they also say they were going to do like cheaper but with ads? Or was
Yeah,
that-
that was
Commercials are confirmed.
commercials are confirmed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if Netflix might just go to that model of like it's just free. It's just free to watch, and every like my wife watches all these shows on Netflix, and it's like
Sunset.
yeah, like all these.
No, why would
whatever
why would
shows.
you make it free though?
Yeah, I don't think it's
What's the business model?
because then you're just getting advertising money. You're getting advertising dollars, just like cable television.
Well, we don't know if it's internal commercials, right? Because it could always just be plugging their own shows that might fit your algorithm.
I wonder if you're
But that's
closer.
what they do. They're plugging their own shows, so it's like they're advertising inside themselves. But like I'm watching or I'm glancing at stuff my wife is watching, and it's like I see Subway cups, I see like all these things, I see bubble tea spots, like I see all these things advertised in these shows, and it's like, well, they're obviously paying to be in these shows, and if that's your market, maybe that's how you're gonna make money. Maybe that's a different avenue. I don't know.
Yeah, the interesting thing too is now we're getting closer to what the television model was. I wonder if they'll get to a point of the bundle, right? Of like, oh, if you get Netflix, you get Apple TV and you get Peacock with it or whatever. And I think
It's just back to cable.
Oh, exactly, it is.
Yeah.
I think the problem too with Netflix is they didn't jump on some of these studios when they had a chance. Like, why were they not jumping on an MGM that Amazon just bought? Why did they not jump and try to buy Paramount? You know, they saw Disney coming. They knew Apple was coming, and they never made that attempt to buy some of these studios to gobble up some of those properties. And you've seen them lose some of those properties, right? They're losing stuff from Disney. They're losing stuff from Paramount. They're losing some of these other studio movies that people would go there before. The Office, a big one specifically in the States, because now the original creators of those are taking those back.
But they don't care. They're making their own content, right?
Yeah, but it's not good. That's the problem.
But it doesn't matter. People still watch it.
But they're not. That's why we're talking about this, because they're losing people.
But I'm arguing that they're not really losing people. They're losing people that just joined and are now lost. But like even these garbage shows get watched just because they're garbage, because they're fun to watch and whatever. But they're total throwaway, right? They're
I
all
think
just throwaway.
they're losing
stuff.
the element too of the prestige show. They don't have like when they started out, they had House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, right? That water cooler show. But now they're losing those specifically to HBO and Apple, right? They don't have a Ted Lasso. They don't have a Succession, right? Bridgerton may be one of those shows for, you know, it has a wide audience, but I don't know if it's necessarily a water cooler show. They're losing the ability to have those shows. They have the shows that will drive you when you're bored or whatever to kind of watch that, but they're losing that ability to be in that award conversation and that bigger conversation about quality
But
television.
aren't all those like reality shows, water cooler shows? Like we don't talk about them, but that doesn't mean other people
in a
aren't talking
sense,
about
yeah,
them.
but I'm talking about like the prestige show. Like after, like, what's the
Hey man, some people think Selling Sunset is a prestige show, and I happen to live with one.
Yeah, I do too, unfortunately. I think that because they're losing the content creators too, to an Apple, to an HBO, right? The people don't really want to do as much stuff with them. And most of the time too, when you see a movie on there, right, like that Ryan Reynolds movie that just came on, it's like, well, that movie's gonna suck.
Red Notice.
Red Notice, that movie's gonna suck because you know it's on Netflix that it's probably
Didn't
not.
it
gonna
also
be
have The
movie.
Rock in it?
Yeah,
Did
and a jungle at one point.
Well,
Is he? Oh, you saw it?
Of course.
He's in a jungle.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just had that terrible Bubble movie, the Judd Apatow
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That was bad. I don't. Other than The Crown, I don't know what their prestige, great acting show is anymore. Like Stranger Things, obviously, will be the big show this summer. Will draw the most attention in. Ozark is coming to an end after this week. That has a lot of attention for them, but they're really starving to catch up to these other streamers now with those shows.
Yeah, and to think about their movie side of things, and talking their prestige award movies. It's like they've tried to get that Oscar movie. Like they tried to do The Irishman. They tried to push like Marriage Story, all these big ones, and they never do it. And then Apple just comes in with like their first movie, and they're like, we win.
And Apple doesn't
And
even
it's like
care.
the first streaming
Yeah.
distributed film to win the Best Picture Oscar, and Netflix is probably like, crap. Like we wanted, like they tried so hard, and they just never did
Apple
it.
doesn't even care. Like for them, any other awards for Apple is just like, that's cool. We just got to do this thing. We're more worried about our tech side. If we win an award, that's cool. Netflix has been trying to win it for
Yeah.
Power of the Dog or Irishman or
Yeah.
whatever else.
So I'm gonna say two things regarding this, and we can move on. Number one, maybe it's on us for blowing this story up in the fact that a company actually struggled for a small period of time. We are so conditioned within the last 10, 15 years post 2008 housing crisis that companies are only supposed to grow. And they're never supposed to ever stumble, never supposed to contract at any point in time ever. And this is the first time of these major media conglomerates that this is actually happening.
Except
It's
for
just
QB.
quick, yeah. Well,
But that lasted not as long as CNN Plus, which only lasted a month.
but those are small drops in a very large pond, right? So Netflix is obviously like the body of water that we're kind of talking about here, and so we're talking like the world is on fire when they had a bad quarter. The second thing I want to say is
Exactly. I'm like, they're still worth $100 billion.
Yeah, so
they're
we're-
still
we're-
great, but now they're in a
they're
the,
doing
fine.
But we've got to the point now where there's a billion subscribers, 500 million, 700, whatever the number is, that basically their default when they turn on the TV, their smart TV, is to just click Netflix. Something automatically plays in the background because it knows you so incredibly well, and all you do is hit play one more time, and you're watching something completely random, but you know you're gonna like it. Good, bad, or otherwise, people do that for comfort. People do that to relieve themselves of their stresses at work, etc., etc. The other thing that I want to say is Netflix might be suffering from too many analytics. Okay, so we have the Netflix algorithm, we have the Netflix shows that are basically based on the viewing habits of millions of people that create a show between two young girls in junior high who blah, 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 right? Or the romantic comedies around Christmas time were always like insert person leaving their job as a lawyer in New York to open up a cookie stand. Bullshit like that.
Sugar cookie, white chocolate sugar cookies. Yeah.
Now that's something I actually would watch. And their analytics are telling them now, and part of business practices, because they're a publicly traded company, that they need to make more money. How are they going to make more money? By getting rid of those people who mooch off of Netflix or their parents' Netflix password, which we all probably do.
Yeah, I've never paid for Netflix.
I've never paid for
My
Netflix
dad
either.
pays for it.
Me either.
Thanks.
Right?
Thanks,
And so
Lou.
their analytics are telling them, well, if we kick off 4 people of this person's 5-person membership, we get an extra $80 a month in perpetuity.
Or do you?
Well, that's what their analytics
And
are
by the
telling
way,
them,
this
right?
isn't just a quarter thing. This has been the last year and a half of drops. This just happened. This has been the last year and a half of drops. This isn't just, this number jumps out to a lot of people, but every quarter they have been losing subscribers. Every quarter lately they've been losing money since the bigger dogs of Apple, HBO, and Disney have infiltrated them.
Well, bigger dogs, or they're just doing something different, right?
Those are bigger
so-
names. Those are 3 bigger names.
Well, I would argue that Apple's not a bigger name, but they've cornered the market on 2 or 3 things that no one else can do, which makes them which makes you want to browse them before you
Well,
browse.
there's
Brave.
also accessibility to Apple, right? When you get the new iPhone or the iPad, or you have the bundle with your iTunes, Apple TV's just there.
Mhm.
And Disney's obviously the much bigger name. And with Amazon, that's kind of just there too. So you're kind of buckled into two services that are there, and two services that are trying different things as well. Amazon's going to be the first to showcase live sports. That's the one problem I have with Netflix too, is they haven't really innovated, and maybe they haven't had to, but these other streaming services are trying to innovate. You know, HBO Max is going to be bringing in CNN and trying to do live news.
And that's why I think they've been relying on this
Yeah.
algorithm too much.
Yeah,
or the
that's a great
analytics.
point. Yeah.
There's not a lot of feel
Yeah.
from the executives of Netflix where they want to take a risk or like. So they just shuttered their animation studio, but Netflix animation is actually one of their stronger
That's the
aspects. from a
real
creative
bummer of this. Is
standpoint.
there was some good, like Claws was a really well done movie.
Tons of stuff. Well, they
Yeah.
just did Arcane, the
Yeah.
League of Legends thing. They
Mhm.
had they have tons of anime that they've imported over with American voice cast. So
Yeah.
it just wasn't. Their analytics told them that was the first thing that had to go, rather than cutting out some of these weird reality shows. It was because the eyes watch the reality shows.
But this is what I was kind of saying. It's like, yeah, memberships might be falling, and that's money, but that's maybe not as much money as you think it is in terms of Netflix income. But what you're saying is like, yeah, you said 8 people are watching on one account. If you like get 7 of those people off, then that's what, $80 more or whatever that will go to them. I don't think they're thinking that way. They're thinking more eyes on our product is worth a lot, right? Because eyes then can drive advertising. So the more people that are watching Netflix, more of the time, and that's why their analytics are always like, how many hours of Netflix are being watched? They don't say how many people watch it, they don't care. It's just like how many hours, because that's what they can sell to advertise it. I think that's where their money's gonna be coming
The price hurts too. I don't pay for Netflix. My sister pays for it. But from my understanding, talking to people
The
that do,
price hurts.
it's
Yeah.
what, it's
What
like
a sucker!
it's like $18, right?
Yeah.
So Disney is $9, right? HBO in the States is less than that. It's $12, right? Amazon you pretty much get with your Prime. The price is a big point for them as well. Of when you're gonna pay $18 for lack of content, you could pay $9, and even in the States, getting the Disney bundle, right, where you get Hulu on top of it and ESPN Plus, that's only $11. If you put it to Canadian, it's still $14, but you're getting 3 streaming services and add what Hulu brings on top of that. And then if you're looking at the Paramount Plus, which is having a nice, has Yellowstone, which has a big following.
Well, they also have 10 times the population.
Yeah.
So
But Paramount is only $5, right? Peacock's only $6. So that's I think the price point is really something that hurts it as well, and it will hurt it going forward, especially with the lack of the password share, because you talk about 3 gentlemen up here that don't have it, and all of a sudden, okay, it's gone. I have to get my own account. It's like $18. F this. I don't care.
Well, they talked about the media, like piracy's up for the first time in like
Oh, yeah.
6 or 7 years,
Yeah.
which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, the barrier for entry, if it's easy for people and you have to pay a minimal price, they're going to do it.
Mhm.
I always look to pay for something that I can access easily, and then when it's preventing me from accessing something based on country rights or broadcast whatever, and I have to go pirate it. If I do pirate, I actually don't pirate anything.
Sure.
But I'm not incriminating myself. But now, if you're right, Netflix is $18, but I want to watch a Netflix show, well, I'm just gonna pirate it now.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Sucks to suck, I guess.
Sucks to suck.
Well, should we do a snack break after that
Sure.
one? Do you want to do another
But
contest?
go watch
one?
Ozarks next week because it's a good show.
Do you want to do another contest one? The last contest one? Or should we do
We're about to get to
something
snack
else?
news, so.
Let's do
I
the
need a
contest
refreshment.
one. You want a refreshment?
I
Okay.
need a refreshment.
I have in my bag here a special flavor of Mountain Dew. And I'm gonna pour it into these little cups, and you can come up here and we'll do the same thing.
I don't think you have to hide the can unless someone here has it like memorized.
It says it on it, and it's.
Can
Yeah,
you guys
I don't
read
know.
a can from over there? I don't think so.
I'm gonna hide it.
They
Okay.
have to have great sites.
Oh no. I had to order this can from America, and it got dinged up in shipping a little bit, so it's kind of hard to open.
While Adam does that, I'll do an ad break. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. They pay us. To get 25% off Manscaped, use our free shipping code with promo code FTNPOD at manscaped.com to get part of the bundle with the Lawnmower 2.0. Once again, that's 25% off from Manscaped. Use FTNPOD.
How's that going for you?
What?
You're manscaping.
We're not gonna share that.
Are you supposed to, like, don't some ad reads make you talk about some personal story about how the products affected
Yeah,
your
we're
life?
not gonna do that before we drink. I just wanted to give the code right now. I think Manscaped will understand. And often the other one is that we are sponsored by Sea of the Dead, repping the city for the last 4 years with nostalgia stuff from Republic to obviously the Vote for Terry shirt here to Red Rooster to Stampede Wrestling, the Calgary Cannons, and much more. You can visit them on seaofthedead.com.
All right, we have little shot glasses of soda up here. If you want to come grab them.
This reminds me when I went to church. Like seriously, they look like little cups.
The blood of Christ.
This is more like from the Mormon church.
So it's clear, which is awesome, because you can't really
Ooh, that's
you
sweet.
can't really glean a flavor out of the color.
Melted Slurpee.
Oh wow,
It's very sugary.
it's sugary.
You guys can't complain that Mountain Dew is too sweet. That's exactly what Mountain Dew
I'm not
does.
saying, I'm just saying.
It tastes like Skittles.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that.
It's not Skittles.
Wouldn't that be a crossover?
Like
That's
a-
what I want.
Almost
Mountain
like a
Dew for.
cake.
Skittle Brow.
Cream soda.
Yeah.
Cream soda, not cream soda.
Can I have another shot?
Yeah, here, pour yourself. Any other guesses out there? No?
I'll hide the identifying marks of the can, but this is what it looks like. So it is kind of cool, kind of funky.
When you guys are doing that, I'll tell you what's up next on TV this week, and you guys can mark anything if you have guessed, just put your hands at what it is. But so coming up this week, we have on HBO Max, we have Barry, like we talked about,
Yeah. Excited for Barry.
Snowpiercer season 3,
Mm-hmm.
and We Own This City, which is a fall of the Baltimore Police.
So I'm a huge fan of The Wire.
Yeah.
Anything David Simon does, The Deuce, Treme, all that stuff. I just watched Pot Against America,
Yeah.
which was his last miniseries, and this is his like return to Baltimore crime from
Yeah.
like The Wire.
I figured you'd be up your alley.
And it's like I think it's a miniseries. It's
Yeah.
only like 8 episodes.
Limited
or something.
series, yeah.
But my concern is you have Marlowe, who is one of the best like crime lords in The Wire, playing a police officer in this. You can't switch sides like that.
John Barenthal's in this too, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, it looks really cool. And anything David Simon does is always amazing.
On Netflix, we have a David Spade comedy special.
That's gonna get a couple subscribers.
We have the Unheard Tapes of Marilyn Monroe documentary.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a lead up for that Marilyn,
Yeah.
that Blonde film that's coming out by Andrew Dominic, where
We
Anna
have-
de Armas plays.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's trying to get people interested in Marilyn Monroe again before they do that NC-17 rated
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe biopic.
Yeah, really interesting.
I don't know how they're gonna put that on Netflix. They might not.
We have Grace
I
and
wonder.
Grace and Frankie season 7, it's the final season of that.
My parents will be happy.
And we have the final season of Ozark. And we have something called Bullshit the Game Show.
Is it actually called bullshit or is it BULLSH
Explicit?
asterisk?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Paramount, we have The Offer, which is the story of The Godfather getting made, which
Ooh,
stars
that's-
Miles Teller.
Okay.
I've heard that screeners are out.
Yeah.
And apparently the first couple are pretty intriguing.
You might have to do a Paramount Plus subscription. And then for games, families everywhere are going to be thrilled because Switch Sports comes out.
TV sales are gonna go way up.
Yeah.
Way up.
Things getting thrown at the TV. All right.
Also movies.
We're about to go to snack news next, which is
Any
very
movies that are
hefty.
coming out? 'Cause it's-
Movies? Nothing.
'cause there was nothing like there's 2 that came out this weekend that
Yeah,
sounded really
that
awesome.
was on
but
you.
We're at Comic Expo
Yeah.
all weekend.
Yeah.
But Robert Eggers' new film, The Northman, came out. I'm really excited to see that.
And the bad guys.
I've heard the Northman is supposed to be like Norse gladiator.
Yeah. It's like very like true to Viking lore. I think is what Alexander Skarsgård was saying, that he's like so happy they made a real Viking movie finally. So, and then
Kind of played a Viking in True Blood.
what's the movie called? I can't think of the whole name.
The Bad Guys?
The Unbearable.
The Unbearable Talent.
Oh, the
Weight
Nick Cage
of
one.
Talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Nicolas Cage.
The Nicolas
movie.
Cage movie where Nicolas Cage plays Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is
I-
also supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, I've been mixed on that. I'm like a huge Nicolas Cage fan, as you guys know.
I told you the trailer looked good, and you were like, "No,
the
I'm
trailer
so
looked.
out." The trailer looked
bad.
amazing.
The trailer looked like too jokey for me.
That's
I wanted
the
it.
point.
I know, but I don't want it like too jokey. Like I know it's gonna be campy, but I don't want it to like
He's
tell
been
me it's
so
campy.
odd.
Do you want John Wick with Nicolas Cage like type level of drama here? Or what?
Now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean that was
kinda.
Pig. That was like what Pig was pitched as, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still excited. I'm gonna go see it, but
He's-
I'm less.
How much have you guys watched of his interviews and all the like the Wired stuff that he's done?
I saw the Wired one.
He's just very regal in some ways.
What's
You know, this guy did not grow up in the real world.
No,
right?
he
Like,
definitely didn't. He's
no.
like he just reads like I don't have social media.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do anything. He just owns
he's
castles
a-
and buys.
He takes
like, dinosaur
himself
bones.
almost way more
Yeah.
serious than I thought he did.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He takes acting very seriously, even in the most ridiculous roles that
Willy's
he's
Wonderland.
given. That was his choice. In that movie, he said that was his choice to not talk. They were like, "We
It's
have
a
lines for you," and he was like,
surprisingly
"I
fun
think we should
movie.
try it this way."
Yeah.
And like, he takes it seriously
Yeah.
to like. Anyways, he's a great actor. I'm excited to see that movie.
Before we get to stack news, anything from Cuff, Adam?
Yeah, the Underground Film Festival is on right now.
Real cinema.
So real cinema.
This Marvel.
They're showing all the Moon Knight episodes
Yeah.
backwards in black and white in
Back
French.
to back. I was there for the opening night on Thursday. I think some people in the crowd were there too. It was a film called Duel by Riley Stearns.
You told me about this. It
It
sounds
was
awesome.
Yeah, it was his follow up to The Art of Self Defense, starring Jesse Eisenberg, which is a really amazing like dark comedy. And then Duel is the premise is like in a futuristic world. If you're terminally ill, you can decide to have a clone made of you so that your family isn't sad. And so this woman is terminally ill. She decides to get a clone so her family isn't going to be sad. And 10 months later, she's still alive. And then she goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "Hey, we made a mistake. You're not going to die." And so what that means in this world, there can only be one, like a Highlander situation. So you have to duel your clone to the death. And you get 1 year to prepare for this. So the movie is about her preparing. And it's Karen Gillian is in it. She's the main star. And then Aaron Paul plays another role in it. It's really funny. It's really dark. It's really weird. Like the dialogue is so stark and bizarre that it feels so out of place for everything. It's really cool. There's lots of other cool films playing at Cuff. It's on all week until Friday at the Globe.
Nice.
They do their secret screening on Thursday night, which is going to be pretty good. I don't know what it is.
Doctor
I wish I
Strange.
knew. It's probably Doctor Strange.
No, it's the little.
No. That's not the secret screening. No, there's a secret screening on Thursday night. In the past they've played Art of Self Defense. They've played Sorry to Bother You. They've played Obvious Child by Jenny Slate, or not by Jenny Slate, starring Jenny
So
Slate.
do the Marcel the Shell
And
movie
then
Yeah.
no, that on Friday night is their closing film, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
going to be
I wanna see
the
that.
Marcel the Shell with
Yeah,
Shoes
yes,
on.
yeah.
So if you've ever seen Marcel the Shell with Shoes on, it's
Nice.
this series of short films.
It's like one of the first viral internet things.
I thought that was an April Fool's thing because the trailer
Yeah.
came out on
Yeah,
April 1st.
I know.
Yeah. So it's this series of little short films that were done like 5-10 years ago. Not by Jenny Slate, but she writes them and she does the voice for Marcel the Shell.
This is before she was in SNL. She did these two, right?
I think so, yeah. And so it's just like these little jokes about like being small.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm so small. I use a dog dish as a swimming pool, or like, I eat 3 raisins and I'm full. Like
It's really
just
cute.
these little silly things. But they made a full movie about this, and it's A24, so it's getting like a big push behind
Is
it.
this the first A24 like family movie?
I
Are
don't
we
know.
sure it's family?
Yeah, I
It could
don't.
be dark.
Is it a family movie?
There
I don't
could be
know.
witches or
It
something.
could be weird.
Please clarify.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think it's a family movie. We'll see when it gets rated. But on
Everyone
Friday.
thought Midsommar was just this great walk through Sweden.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the closing film of Cuff.
Nice.
The Marcel the Shell with Shoes on. It's on Friday night. It's gonna be really cool. And then they have lots of stuff online that next weekend too. So Cuff is really awesome.
What was that little guy?
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Yeah, it's a
Who
solid
doesn't
flick.
love Monsters Inc?
Yeah.
All the monsters.
Especially the Disney Plus one too. The Disney Plus show was good, solid. Monsters at Work. That was fun.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Cool. I saw some. It was
Just to
not
kind of
bad.
be back with the guys and everything like that.
Yeah.
And you got Henry Winkler doing one of the voices.
Hey.
All right, it's time for snack
Wait,
news.
did anybody
Oh, yeah.
have any guesses for this soda? We have some new people. Do you want to try a flavor of Mountain Dew
Oh, God.
and tell us? It's not bad.
I heard "Oh God" in the best possible.
Oh God!
We were doing a contest to give away this great T-shirt from Sea of the Dead. If you can name what flavor this Mountain Dew is.
Is it a fruit?
It's not a fruit.
My guess is it's just pure sugar.
Yeah, it's a good
That's
guess.
that's like yeah. That's yes.
It's not a fruit?
They can.
Uh-oh. I said,
Here, I'll give you a couple. You can take them back.
All right.
to your,
How many do you need?
just two.
All right.
there you go.
You don't want to give the kids that much sugar.
Yeah, a little
Because I know with my nieces and nephews, it's not going to end up well.
Their eyes are gonna be like.
I love what you're saying.
Do you remember in The Simpsons when Bart and Milhouse get the all syrup squishy?
Yeah. And they're
Let's
like,
go wide,
That is gonna be exactly what
having an
happens.
acid trip.
All right, are you guys ready?
Smell test, there we go.
The smell test. Okay, we got one person trying
Yeah.
in the back.
Oh, wow.
Sugar.
Yeah, but
Extra
Is
sugar.
it cane sugar?
No. No. It's a flavor. It's a flavor.
I know this flavor. Oh my God.
Cotton
It's
candy.
like a candy.
Nope.
It's like the flavor of my youth in the convenience stores.
The first part, yes. Second part.
Flavor of your youth. Airhead?
Well, that was a
No.
good guess. There is an Airhead Mountain Dew, though, isn't there? We talked
No,
about
I
it?
haven't had an airhead one.
This particular flavor was very in vogue for a couple of years, for
Mhm.
about a year or so, and everything made this flavor. Oreos made this flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
There you go.
oh,
Got it?
Yeah.
Well done.
Come get your
It's
shirt.
actually called Cake Smash.
Oh, it's cake.
It's cake flavor.
Come get the
Yeah.
It's a
vote
birthday cake is what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's why you
It was from your
Yeah,
childhood.
you said from my youth, and I was like, yeah, you probably had some.
Since you tried, you can get a sticker. I'm sure the kids would all want to.
We have lots of other snacks to try too, if you are interested.
Yeah.
We got some cinnamon sugar Cheetos. We got sugar cookies.
Came into the right room.
I'm gonna vibrate out of here. This is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you
Snack
to everyone that came and watched. That's coming in and out. All right, it's snack news. We start with the big announcement on May 2nd. Wendy's is serving breakfast.
What? I thought they already did.
No, in the States they do.
And in the Toronto airport. Those are the only places in Canada. So here is what we're getting, and I'll give you the items, and then you guys kind of give me a dialogue or review what you think. So the big one is the Breakfast Baconator. A grilled square sausage patty, 2 slices of cheese, 6 strips of crispy oven bacon, applewood smoked bacon, a fresh cracked Canadian grade egg, Swiss cheese hollandaise sauce on a toasted bun.
Hollandaise sauce.
Hollandaise.
Yeah.
Wendy's hollandaise sauce.
Wendy's hollandaise
That
sauce.
opens the door for a lot of
Yeah.
things.
This drive-through on the 2nd is going to be. I was in the States. I was living in the States doing my practicum in Spokane when Taco Bell opened breakfast, and it was crazy the lineup.
Oh my god.
So some of these Wendy's are going to be packed, I think.
Sure, yeah.
Like breakfast, eggs Benedict poutine. Like, come on down, Wendy's.
So next up, we got the Frosty Chinko.
I think it's Frosted Chino.
Chino, there you go. Combines cold brew coffee with chocolate or vanilla frosty served over ice.
Okay.
We have the seasoned potatoes, Half Moon seasoned potatoes featuring a blend of spices served crispily and piping hot. Then we have the classic sausage, bacon, egg, cheddar sandwich, freshly cracked Canadian grade egg with either grilled squared sausage patty or oven baked applewood
So
smoked
that's
bacon.
That's your McMuffin.
Yeah, and their whole thing has been a cack and McDonald's saying, "Where's the bacon? Where's that at?" And then they also have biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
They have they have the sausage or egg cheese biscuit. They just have a normal sausage buttermilk biscuit. Then they have a croissant sandwich, as well, with an egg, sausage patty, the smoked wood bacon with a flaky croissant, and then for the first time ever, they'll have their own coffee as well. So that's the launch of Wendy's breakfast here in Canada.
We just have a clarification on the Cake Smash Mountain Dew. In the nutrition facts, it says contains 0% juice. Just in case you thought there might be Mountain Dew juice, or sorry, cake juice. Yeah, cake juice. In there.
If you thought this was healthy for you, you have another thing coming.
I'm not a huge fast food breakfast guy. I do like a lot of fast food, but not breakfast. But I think that that Baconator, I could
Is
be
he wearing a
interested
toque?
in.
Yeah, get ready. I'll tell you what this one is.
I could be interested. What about you? What about you for the Wendy's?
It's all about
breakfast,
the, it's
Dev?
all about the egg. If real egg, like that's what makes the egg McMuffin so
Yeah,
high quality.
yeah.
Is that
That's
freshly
what's going to
ground?
matter. They're going hard in that they have the better sausage patties and the bacon. That's the hard thing they're
I think
going
for
on.
me it was that hollandaise sauce.
Yeah, that's the one I think that caught a lot of people off guard there. This is A&W's new sandwich that comes out tomorrow by Toronto chef Matty Matheson.
Hey, Maddie.
That's why he's got the toque.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it fried pickles?
So it's fried
Is that what
pickles
you're looking
with some grilled onions, Swiss cheese. Yeah.
How does it look like Swiss cheese?
That looks like cheddar cheese.
Swiss cheese. Oh no, that's some mayo underneath there.
Hmm.
Okay. So that's coming there.
That actually looks pretty interesting.
You better come with the toque.
A little baby burger
Little
too.
baby toque. As we mentioned, McDonald's, they just launched these little guys.
Waffle fries.
They're waffle fries.
You had
You
the
have
chance
a
to try
review.
them, yeah.
They're not Chick-fil-A waffle fries. They're not. They are better than the Carl's waffle fries. They're pretty good. They're McDonald's waffle fries. Like you can't go really wrong. But the problem is McDonald's. I don't think they don't give you the dipping sauce choice that Chick-fil-A would for their waffle fries. Right. That's the only
They
problem.
still have the BTS sauces?
No.
Oh, those are
No, like so. Yeah, it's fine with ketchup, but you're kind of a little bit left there without the main course of a sauce. So, next up we have Subway. They are coming up with 5 new sandwiches.
Can I go on a Subway rant first?
Go ahead. man.
I went to Subway for the first time in like a year, and they had like a chicken peppercorn ranch thing, and I was like, that sounds pretty good.
That's one of the new sandwiches. Yeah.
I'm gonna get this. Little did I know they changed from like the cubey chicken, like the cube fake
Mhm.
chicken, to like real shredded chicken.
That's the big pitch right
But
now.
the
they have.
problem with it is it has that sauce in it. Like it sits in that gross juice
Mhm.
all day. And so they put it on my sandwich, and I got all the stuff on it, and then they like grilled it a little, toasted it a little bit. But then by the time you get home, it's like soaked into the bread, and then your bread is just like sopping wet. It's not good. Like it's terrible. I would never go back.
Wow.
Ever.
Not even for a meatball sub?
Maybe
Yeah.
no. Like if the only
Yeah.
time I like Subway is if I'm at an airport, and that's like the only option. Like
It's
usually,
oddly specific.
well, like the airport, like the Calgary airport, the Subway is like the only thing at some of those terminals. But yeah, that chicken is just abysmal. Like, who thought that was a good idea?
Well, Adam, here is the new Subway sandwiches. The pepper ranch is one of them, and it's described as talk about flavor.
No, we'll talk about chicken juice flavor.
The new sandwich features
Chicken
Canadian
water.
farm-raised chicken, maple wood smoked bacon. It's topped with crispy veggies and the all-new peppercorn ranch dressing.
I tasted none of that.
Yeah.
Just soggy bread.
The smashed avocado and turkey. Try it in their classic Italian bread topped with Canadian farm-raised deli-style turkey, real Canadian cheddar. Get it toasted and then top their smooth smashed avocado, lettuce, spinach, tomato, cucumbers, green peppers, red onions, and mayonnaise.
Don't tell me how to make my Subway sandwich, Subway. I'm gonna make it how I want it.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
The Great Canadian Club. This bad boy is made with deli-style turkey, ham, maplewood smoked bacon, made from Canadian farm-raised turkey and pork.
They didn't have a Canadian club?
I guess not. And
Maybe
then it's
just
topped
Mr.
with
Sub.
all the favorites and smoky honey mustard.
Mr. Sub has the Canadian club. That's
The maple smoked wood bacon and ham, made up of deli-style ham, bacon made for the Canadian farm-raised pork and Canadian cheddar lover. Roast it and get it topped with all your favorite toppings. And the final, smoked steak avocado. This sandwich features the mouth-watering seasoned steak and new smashed avocado. It's topped with their classic chipotle sauce and some sweet, tangy banana peppers.
sure.
Smashed avocado is just guacamole without the flavor.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just avocado without the spices and onions and Good stuff.
I went deep in that voice.
Yeah, you tried really hard for it. We
Yeah.
Do you want
appreciate
some
it.
cake smash?
Yeah, do you want some cake
Yeah,
smash to
another
wash
shot.
it down? Okay, I'll pour you another shot of cake smash.
Next up, we have for the Mountain Dew, the Flaming Mountain Dew, Flaming Cheeto Mountain Dew has been released.
Flaming hot Mountain Dew. I have seen the pictures of this.
You need
I'm
to get some in Portland.
Yeah, I'm going to the
Okay.
States a couple times in the next few weeks, so I'm gonna be looking for Flaming Hot Mountain Dew.
Question: is this
I'll bring
going
it
to
back.
be worse than the butter or the mustard that we had yesterday?
No, it's gonna be better.
Okay.
It's gonna be good.
It's made by Mountain Dew.
So then, just a few other
But yet
things
to
we
me,
have
a Mountain
here.
Dew flavor I hated.
So Reese's is coming out with an all peanut butter cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a spoonful of
Just
peanut
peanut
butter?
Just go
Yeah.
for peanut butter. Yeah. Pop Tarts are coming up with frosted grape flavor.
Okay.
So just grape, I guess.
Are you saying grape or crepe?
Grape. Grape would be interesting though.
Grape tarts?
You're saying grape with,
Grape.
with a G.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like purple.
Taco Bell has brought back the long-term favorite Mexican pizza. That returns to Taco Bell.
Oh yeah. Remember that was
Um,
the thing when it left, people were mad.
I don't know what
I've
this
never
brand
had
is,
it.
but this had a lot of buzz around it. Nestle Toll House has announced the new stuffed cookie dough.
Yeah, they make cookie dough and you put it in your oven, you bake it, and it makes cookies.
Oh, okay, there you go.
But can you just eat it?
Probably.
And
I'd
it's
eat that
not
one.
stuffed.
Kit Kat is introducing a blueberry muffin flavor.
Hmm?
Buffalo Wild Wings announces the new Doritos Flaming Hot Wings flavor.
I have seen that at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
I've heard about that.
Cold Stone Creamery has came out with a Peeps flavored ice cream.
Do we have any of those in Canada anymore?
No,
Cold
they used to
Stones, I
be
don't
in
think
like
so.
The
in
Tim's.
gas station.
Oh,
in Tim Hortons.
it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Tim's.
Yeah, I think
For
they're all
5 years.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Denny's has announced the Endless Breakfast,
Mm.
so breakfast 24/7.
Wait,
Wait.
they didn't?
They are announcing it. I guess
Oh,
they
they
did.
did?
That's
Couldn't
what,
you
I,
order?
that's what I was saying. This is
What?
news to me.
No, but are you talking endless breakfast like you can eat as much as you want?
Maybe.
Or
yeah.
all day breakfast?
It's all day breakfast, mine.
But that's Denny's.
Yeah, I thought
Okay,
Denny's
maybe
was
I read
already
it
all
wrong
day
then.
breakfast.
Burger King next month is coming up with a peanut butter hamburger.
Mm. That's a popular thing at fairs a lot, or like at Stampede. You can get like a PB&J
Yeah.
burger and stuff. So I guess
Uh,
try it, sure.
Adam introduced this one in the chat the other day. Pepsi partners with IHOP to release maple syrup cola.
Yeah, that was just a.
So it's diabetes.
yeah, it's extra sugar.
So it's diabetes.
It's that was just a promo thing. I think you had to like
Mm.
enter a contest and win. It was like there was another Pepsi that was like that.
Kellogg's.
The chocolate Pepsi was
Oh,
that you
the
had to like
chocolate one,
enter and then win. Yeah.
Kellogg's launches new frosted flake flavors that turn different colors. So you put in the milk and the
Mm.
flakes change different colors. By the way, this was the weird thing that was going viral the other day. Do you put in the milk first or the cereal first?
Cereal.
The cereal.
There is
Only
this
cereal-
insanity going on that people put in the milk first.
Only serial killers do that.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on? This was like this viral thing that was going around this weekend.
No.
I was like, what is
You
going
always
on?
put the cereal in. First.
Pop Tarts unveils the Snickerdoodle flavor.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Peanut butter.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
No, Snickerdoodles are not peanut butter.
What's snickerdoodle?
Cinnamon sugar. Think of a cinnamon bun without, being wrapped up. Without icing.
And then Cinnamon
Okay.
Toast Crunch takes on a peanut butter spread. So they'll be doing like you have your like Nutellas or whatever. They're doing like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch peanut butter spread.
Oh, like a cinnamon toast
Yeah.
crunch spread.
Yep. And that is the food news.
We did it.
I'm very whelmed.
Yeah.
You're very well.
Yeah.
Well, we have one more food to try. We have a little bit of an audience still. If you want to try it,
We scared them off with the food news.
we have Java.
They're like, I
chip.
thought this was about movies and shows.
We have Java chip Oreos. They are coffee flavored cream with chocolatey chips.
Let's go.
You want to try it?
Let's go.
By the way, guess who won the box office this week? With $25 million. Just the news just broke.
The Nicolas Cage.
The
movie.
bad guys.
The bad guys.
What is this? I don't even know what that
It's
is.
an animated movie.
Ah, damn.
You never underestimate the animated movies, man. Which is what we're going to get into next. Is we are going to. I'll eat after. We're going to get into our box office draft. So because Adam's new here, I will give Adam the first pick. Devin gets the second pick, and I'll take the last pick.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So we get 3 picks.
So we get 3 picks.
snake?
Snake.
Okay.
So then, and then at the end of this, we'll combine all 3 and see who has the better box office. So Adam, with your first pick, you take.
I already win because I'm gonna take Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Like nothing. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think that's going to win the summer box office.
What's gonna beat it?
I think
My
there's a
pick,
handful
my
of
pick.
movies. Yeah, go ahead.
Jurassic.
That's what I think is going to win.
No.
It's about cumulative. He just has to hit 3 winners.
Yeah.
Or 2 winners.
Yeah. So I go Snake. So I will take Thor: Love and Thunder, and then I will take Top Gun, which I think could be the second or worst case 3rd best movie for the box office. I think Top Gun will make over $1 billion.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Adam, your second pick?
No, it's
No,
mine.
it's
Oh, it's Devin.
I'll take Lightyear.
The irony.
Mm-hmm.
The irony.
Mm-hmm. And then I get to go
Yeah.
2 in a row.
And then you're done.
I think Minions
Yeah, it's a
has
smart
to be
pick.
$1 billion movie.
Yep.
And then, it's a toss-up. Do I go another animated one? I'm gonna go a dark horse.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Elvis.
Interesting.
It could make a lot of money
Okay.
if there's still old Elvis fans going to the
Could be.
movies.
It's Baz Luhrmann. Does he have like a hive?
Nah.
No.
But Elvis does.
Yeah, I think he does.
Elvis does.
I think you
for
ruined
sure.
it with Australia.
Gatsby did okay. Was Gatsby because of Baz or was that because of Leo?
Leo. That was a Leo movie.
I think Baz has his people though, like from like Romeo and Juliet and like people like that Baz style. Like even like when the Elton John bio came out, people thought that should. Some people thought it was Baz. So
Okay, what's left?
there's a few left.
The ones that are left that I had, Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Could make some money.
Yeah.
Paws of Fury. I don't know what that was, but that's the thing. DC League of Super Pets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Damn it.
Or Nope.
Damn it.
Or the Jordan Peele. Nope.
No.
Or Downton Abbey.
Pets.
Sequel.
Super Pets.
That's what I was gonna take. I'd love to take Bullet Train because that looks really really fun, and I think it has a solid cast. I'm just worried about how well it will draw in a box office sense of the word. So I'll go with Jordan Peele and Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
do you have them all written down?
yep.
Okay,
I got
perfect.
Thor: Love and Thunder, Top Gun 2, and Nope.
Oh, you only wrote yours down.
Yeah. Am I not responsible for just me?
You're responsible for all of us.
I wrote everyone's picks down for the movie
Mine
draft.
was
I can
Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
Minions, whatever the hell it's called, and Elvis.
I have Lightyear, Super Pets, and Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Jurassic
I think
World.
Jurassic Dominion.
Jurassic.
The Jurassic Republic.
The Jurassic.
I think that's gonna win the box office in the summer. Is Jurassic World.
No chance.
I think
Doctor
that's-
Strange.
I don't think Doctor Strange is gonna win.
We'll see. We'll see.
I think it'll make it. I think we
I'm
have
not
four.
seeing either, but
We have 4 movies that are going to make $1 billion, right? Between the 2
I
Marvel
will
movies.
go see Doctor Strange just so I can contribute to my win.
Out of those movies, the big ones for you, Adam, which one are you like the most excited for the summer box? Like, is it Top Gun?
No,
No.
I don't care about Top Gun,
What?
honestly. I think Nope is probably
Yeah.
the most interesting one to me. Nope or Bob's Burgers are like my.
I'm not excited for Bullet Train.
No, I don't know, what is this?
That's the Brad Pitt one.
Okay.
The trailer looks
What?
really, really rad.
What about it? I don't want to see a movie just because it's the Brad Pitt one.
I-
Like, that doesn't interest me.
I'll kind of get the
Um,
synopsis on it because.
What if it was Interview with the Vampire 2?
So it's.
Well, if you prefaced it with that, then yes.
So this is a synopsis on Bullet Train. 5 assassins aboard a fast-moving bullet train find out their mission has them in common, so they're more or less just 5 assassins on a train, all trying to kill him. I'm in.
I've heard that story many
I'm in,
times.
man.
It's just John Wick on a train.
Good. Give it to me.
I don't want John Wick on everything. John Wick on toast.
Bicycle.
John Wick on a bicycle.
Thank
But yeah, I'm thinking Nope. Nope. It's interesting because there's sort of that like Jordan Peele did Get Out,
Mhm.
and then he did Us, and it was like okay, he can do like back-to-back horror things, but it's like maybe he needs that third one to
Where
kind of
does
solidify him.
Us came out, And people, I don't think were as blown as away like Get Out. Obviously,
No.
Get Out was an Oscar-nominated film. So in some ways, it's like, can he redeem himself? Not redeem, because I think Us has a nice following.
I think if he can like keep it going,
Yeah.
I don't think he has to redeem anything.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think Us is something that I think about a lot more than Get Out. I
Interesting.
think Get Out's been kind of like copied a lot, and
yeah, we
and
just talked about it in Atlanta.
I hate to
episode
say, but
start.
it's like it has diluted it a little bit because
Yeah.
you've seen so many things that have done it just as good, like
Yeah.
that kind of concept,
Yeah.
just as good or even better. But I'm so excited to see Nope. It's what, Daniel Kaluuya
Yep,
and a horse.
yep,
Okay,
yep.
I'm
It's
in.
Steven.
No, there's mini horses.
Yeah.
Mini horses. Okay, I'm double.
They're
in.
called miniature horses.
tiny, mini.
Yes.
Yeah, mini horse.
All right, that will do it for the show. We got Barry coming up next week, so we're very excited about that. I'll give a more of a Lego Star Wars review from playing that, which has been super fun so far. And
More Better Call Saul.
More Better Call Saul, more Moon Knight.
Don't look so excited.
This is his
Dad.
happy face. All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Everyone that came in to watch us today, everyone on the live stream. You can follow us on Fresh Take 42. Get us where you get podcasts. Thank you for Comic Expo for having us. Until next time, folks, cheers and enjoy the day, people.
Thank you for coming. Are you high on sugar?
Do you want more?
Oh, hell yeah.
Do you want more?
I am.
What is this? It's really good.
It's Java chip
What is Java chip?
coffee with